Hey, gang. I'm back. At least a little bit, kind of. Yesterday, we played a best of, very much needed. Today, we're going live on Instagram. There we go. Today, uh, I'm here. Sound a little better. I feel a lot better. But yesterday was rough. I mean, I still had to kind of sit here through. Hold on. Third. I still had to sit here through the show so that I made sure everything went well. But that was definitely a lot better than actually doing it. And you can still tell that I'm getting out of breath and so on. So join me, 1-888 Yergs or 844 gay LGBT, and tell me what you think is going to happen this time. In case you haven't heard, articles of impeachment have been drawn up again for a third time. Oh, echo. For a third time, articles of impeachment have been brought up again. And are we going to learn this time around? Are we going to? I think there's an overlay over top of my face. There we go. Are we going to get rid of this guy finally? And all of the ridiculousness that he's been engaging in. I'm not saying that downsizing certain aspects of the government are a bad thing. Actually, I don't think anybody's saying that. Doing it without knowing what the results are going to be, doing it without due process to the people that are losing their jobs, doing it without any consideration for the end result is what's incredibly irresponsible. Hey guys on Insta, thanks for joining. Tom, Machnikowski, Crossover, Entrepreneur Georgie, welcome. You're going up the middle. We're talking about Trump's third impeachment that's impending. And I do need to apologize already. I see something that is not accurate. Today's title of the show or suggests that he's already been impeached for the third time, and that's not true. I didn't mean. I'm still sick. Cut me a little slack. That did not. And in the interest of time, I just let it go. I just wanted to make sure that you were clear about that. He has not yet been impeached, but there are articles of impeachment that have been drawn up. Apparently, question is, will his House bitch, as in the Speaker of the House, who can't speak for himself, will Mike Johnson bring them for consideration? With the slim margin that they've got. Hey, Wild Pack of Cheetahs, welcome. See you on Instagram. We're talking about the possible third impeachment of Donald Trump. Why does everybody just check in and then leave? I think I'm going to put that up, like today's news thing. I think when they just see me talking. Hey, Watt Massage. Thanks for joining. We're talking about Donald Trump's impeachment, possible third impeachment. Yeah, it's. There we go. Put that up. Where'd it go now? 1-888-88-YERGS or 844-GAY-LGBT. Help me get through being sick. And you can take over and talk for a little bit. What's going to happen? We have third articles of impeachment drawn up. And are they going to be presented? Which means, are they going to be discussed and debated and so on? Are they going to be voted on then? With, as I said earlier, one of his henchmen, somebody that doesn't speak for the House or for the people, but is just another sounding board for him. And that's Mike Johnson. So, but first, morning motivation comes to us. Oh, I got to get rid of these. Comes to us from a former president himself. I didn't show that screen yet. Give me a second. A former president himself, John Adams, said that, there we go, power always thinks that it is doing God's service when it is violating all of his laws. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what's happening right now. The people that lost their jobs already were not given proper due process. They were just up and fired. The entire time, he's been bitching about the weaponization of the Justice Department and the FBI. Well, here's a thought. Maybe not engage in criminal activity, and nobody's going to, quote unquote, weaponize anything. Meanwhile, you're going after Donald Trump, you're going after Hunter Biden and his laptop. Hunter Biden had some issues, still does probably, whether it's addiction or criminal activity on whatever level. But in 21 years of being in the Secret Service, I've had plenty of cases just like the one that Hunter Biden was in. You want to know how many made it to the national attention of the media like his did? 0. None. Because their dad wasn't president. Who, by the way, had nothing to do with him carrying a gun while he's convicted for drug or under treatment for drug treatment programs. Where is the complaints about that weaponization and about that issue being nothing more than politically charged and not legit as far as receiving the amount of attention? I mean, obviously, it's the president's son. We're going to get something. We're going to see something in the newspaper. But the degree to which he and his son Hunter went through, and then for T-Rump to turn around and talk about him being a victim, make that make sense for me. Tell me how that's okay. As for some of these cancellations, I don't even know what to call it. But the fact that we pretty much no longer have 17 offices of Inspector General, which, by the way, would be the ones investigating the criminal activity that's happening right now by the Trump administration. Senior officials at the FBI and Justice Department, none of whom have done anything wrong. Nothing. Except the fact that they did their job when they investigated, prosecuted, processed evidence, whatever it was, where Donald Trump was the quote-unquote victim. When in all actuality, the people of the United States were the victim. Still are. You don't agree with that? I won't say their names because they don't know that I was planning on talking about them. I didn't get a chance to confirm that it was okay. But I have two friends here in the greater Tampa area who work for various companies that are contractors to USAID. One of the agencies that the Trump administration is planning on disbanding altogether. Do you think that they looked into the fact that my one friend's company gets 90% of their income from USAID? And they got 10% other, but 90% of their workforce was just put on leave. In the corporate world, we call that being laid off. They were just laid off because they know that money is no longer coming in. Now, if that's a private company, didn't we already downsize the government? Because imagine if that workload from that company, that 90% of their total income, was done by USAID. How much bigger would USAID be? And how many other companies are in that same boat? How many other companies are laying off people because of somebody having thrown a dart at a dartboard and USAID happened to be where it landed? It could be even bigger. Then there's the due process. These people don't even wake up Monday morning. They get word of it over a weekend. Because that's what, and this was something Felon Musk already said. We like coming in to work on weekends. It's like having an away game and the other team isn't there. They're not working in familiar territory, so that's the away game. But with having the employees that would have stopped them, like some of them actually did, they had free access. And the 6 team members that he has with him are between ages 19 and 24. Now just imagine when this gets out that the work they're doing is not legal and that they've wrongfully and criminally accessed government accounts, government computer systems. We call that a network intrusion, something the Secret Service investigated. That was never me. Checking my email kicks my ass. But that's something that the Secret Service did. The FBI does it, and there's other law enforcement agencies that do it too, depending on who's intruded and so on. But these kids, even the 24-year-old was a kid. If they weren't, they would have had the common sense to not engage in this behavior. They're going to have difficulty finding jobs the rest of their lives. What are you going to do? Continue working for Elon Musk for the next 30 years? While he's in what? Exile? Deported? jail. None of this stuff is remotely close to legal. Not even close. The 17 inspectors general, there were 3 qualifications that needed to be met. Hey, Ken, thanks for checking in. I am feeling better. I'm finally on antibiotics and found some over-the-counter cough medicine that's working. The prescribed stuff, I don't think so, but whatever. But yeah, we're back to being live today. We're talking about a possible 3rd impeachment of Donald T. Trump and what's coming of that. But yeah, illegal access of networks and a lack of due process. These 17, the 17 inspectors general alone, there are 3 qualifications that need to be met for them to be terminated legally. One, there has to be cause, meaning they have to have actually done something wrong, either criminally or civilly illegal, or something major enough in HR that it warrants termination. None of those 17 have been known to have committed any such violation. Secondly, there has to be a 30-day waiting period where they have 30 days of notice. This is so they can provide themselves a defense, and also so that the situation itself can be reviewed by Congress. And finally, the termination has to be done directly by the president. One of his henchmen did the terminating. So at minimum, he's opened himself up to obvious lawsuits, which I understand some of which are now in place. There are a bunch of mostly the freezing of the money, the stopping of the use of some assets had already been part of a lawsuit. King, welcome back. Hello again. Shout out to King on Instagram, jumping in. We're talking about T-Rump in a possible 3rd impeachment. But none of these people were released with the proper due process. And now we got kindergartners running around with their crayons in government offices, drawing on the hard drives and servers of some major computer systems. One of the things that they did acknowledge was that I got to take a breath every so many, was that the Doge committee was going to minimize its access to the Treasury Department. Who knows if it's too late or not? Have they already paid themselves for overtime or for spending the night on a cot in that office? That's what they're doing. They're sleeping on site so that they can essentially not make the same mistake their opponents who didn't show up, and they can guard their handiwork. So it's at what point, Republicans, do you people finally step up and say enough is enough? I don't have it handy. Yeah, if they already have access, I feel it's already too late. Yeah, you don't know what you don't know, and you certainly don't know what damage they've done or what theft has occurred or anything like that until they're kicked out and until a secure level has been restored. I know my information's in one of these deep dives. I hate that phrase, but whatever. I know that my information's in one of these deep dives. And I just can't wait till somebody knocks on my door. I've already been kicked off LinkedIn. I'm off LinkedIn. I think I can go back to broadcasting this show on Twitter, or not Twitter, TikTok. I'm going to have to try to log into that. Yeah, I want to see that too. Mark Cuban made some comments on T-Rum's trade war. Wonder if there's any video of it. So Cuban, let's talk about that when we get back. I'm going to take a break. When we get back, we'll talk about Mark Cuban's comments about this whole thing, as well as further updates on the articles of impeachment. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, WZQR, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back right after this.
What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit.
Did you guys hear that? Let me know in the chat if you heard that Momentum Fitness commercial. I cut it because I'm not hearing it, and usually I hear it when I'm running it. Let me try that again, or try another one.
Hey, what's in your wallet? Well, I'll tell you what's in mine, and it should be in yours. Capital One. My credit card with Capital One has $0 fraud liability for any unauthorized use. Zero. Flexible due dates. Look in your wallet. See if it's there. Or go to my Facebook page and click on the affiliate link. You get checked for pre-approval. You can apply for the card and enjoy.
Hey, I'm here, gang. Just you get checked for pre-approval. You can apply. So that was weird. Oh. I didn't hear. I have to go back and play the. And Ken saying you can hear the Capital One as well. Good, thanks, Ken. That was weird because I usually can hear that playing in my phones, and for whatever reason, that didn't happen today. I've never experienced that before. All right, well then I'm going to let you learn more about Momentum Fitness and Wellness, and I'll be right back.
What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training, a dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum.
For everything. So that ain't going to work. Yeah. So I was just thinking about during that commercial, I'm probably going to have to do something different to get these commercials to go, because those of you watching or listening through any of the video, okay, so I didn't hear it, but you did. Great. But there are other feeds here on my soundboard in the studio that take that signal to other applications like Mix, which is what goes out over internet radio. There is a unique app that goes out for terrestrial radio that I use from a third-party company. And then there's two applications that are on my phone that I have another mic connected to, but they're both also connected to. I'm logged in twice. Once through my phone to activate, the connection, and a second time through a desktop app that connects it to my soundboard and how I share screens. Point being, I have no idea if they heard it. So I don't know what I'm gonna have to do. I'll test it on the app later and presume that result is going to be for the others. Anyway, right now, let's see if we can do some background music, get that out. Right now, you can get me, especially now that I'm feeling better. Or that either. So, Ken, back to you, man. Let me know if you're hearing some chill background music that's probably actually a little loud. Would be playing right now. Just in case I'm going to shut it off, but let me know. Okay, there we go. And he says, you hear the music. But Jesus. So I don't hear that either. It's not. Some of these systems, man, I'm telling you. And the audio is the default voice meter. It's where it's supposed to be. Well, it ain't happening. So anyway, I am but now on Cameo. You can get me to say some smart ass comment for you. Wish you a happy birthday. Give you a reading. I don't mean like tarot cards like Marcella. Oh, I got to call her back. I've been sick all week. I've got a list of people that I need to call back, and she's one of them. She's done living in New York, and I guess she's moving to Florida. But yeah, cameo.com/Yergs/book for $5. I can give you a birthday wish. I can, like I said, give you chew your ass out. Basically, that's a reading. Answer any questions you have about the Secret Service or politics right now. Keep in mind that some of those, let me decide if I can answer it or not. If it's something that I can't answer, I'll still give you some good chat and maybe a second chance on asking something that you might be interested in. But a possible third impeachment is on the way. And my question is, at what point see, so that's the thing, is that I can hear my mic. I can hear myself right now. There's nothing else up there that's muted. Everything is being sent to the places they need to go for that to work. So I don't know why, unless that's something new that Restream is doing. But I don't know why they would do that, because I would still need to monitor levels. I would still need to be able to let's see. Yeah, going through like the audio. It's the I can try something else, and maybe that'll. I'm not gonna clown around with this all day, though. I do see something. Wow, I do see it. Let's try this again. I actually was. There was a spot where it actually was turned down. It's hard to. So now I can leave that on in the background while I'm doing my commercial. Yergs.com and Yergs on Cameo. Go to cameo.com/Yergs/book. That's so much better knowing that I can actually fix something. I feel important now. Cameo.com/Yergs/book and schedule your message for me. For $5, I can wish you a happy birthday, wish a friend a happy birthday, do whatever, answer questions. Hit that up, Yergs on Cameo. I'll put that on there we go. There it is on the screen. Yep. Well done, Ken. Thanks as usual. Somebody's got to keep me straightened out. Well done. Also, for those of you in business or wanting to start one, go to bizgrowthcollective.com. This is the new LinkedIn. So much better. You're not going to get kicked off for telling the truth like I did. Go to bizgrowthcollective.com and register your company. Whether you're in business already or start up in the planning phases, this is the place to find good people willing to help you with your business journey. Go to bizgrowthcollective.com, especially those of you in Florida. That's where they're starting their beta right now. If you're in other states, don't let that scare you. Send me a message and we'll use my address until they add your state to the mix. Email me at newsnewz@yergz, YERGZ.com. And we'll get you registered on Biz Growth Collective today. All right. So, where's the music? I can turn this down now. Third articles of impeachment have been written. You'd think I would. One of the things I miss about having longer commercial breaks is I've got time to do things. Yeah. So this is what's crazy. And this is why you're not taken seriously. A Texas Democrat, which you knew it was going to be a Democrat that did it, and that's fine. Texas Dem says he'll bring articles of impeachment against Trump over Gaza. Who cares about Gaza? What about all the illegal things he's been doing for the past 2 weeks? Nobody cares about Gaza. Yes, there are people that care about Gaza, but there are a hell of a lot more people that care about the fact that they can't feed their kids because they lost SNAP benefits, or that they don't have a job anymore because they lost a government contract just because Elon Musk says so. And none of those firings were legal either, by the way. Many of the firings from the Justice Department were civil servants, people that, again, like those 17 inspectors general, you can only fire them with cause. And then it's after a process through, in that case, the FBI's HR department. You can't just up and fire somebody. You're not at Twitter, Elon. It's just fascinating the attitude that this guy's got and what he thinks he can get away with. It's I don't get it. One of the things I was going to scroll through this too. You're probably sitting and wondering, okay, well, what do you want me to do? Here, this is what you can do. I'm going to show you. As soon as I find it, there we go. Take my Cameo QR code off so you can see what I'm really trying to show you here. The U.S. Senate I'm adjusting things on my desktop. Bear with me. U.S. Senate switchboard, the House switchboard, wherever you are. I just saw a post on, I think it was Instagram. Yeah, when I was setting up the Instagram account for today's show, I saw a post on there from Hillary Clinton who reposted a tweet or story from Instagram, whatever, some post made by an Alaska senator. Let me tell you a little bit about Alaska. They're Republican. The Capitol switchboard is accustomed to getting approximately 400 calls per day. They're getting more than 1,600 calls per day, and it's crashing the system. This is what we're talking about. This is the type of reaction that we're talking about. That's going to get the attention and let the people know, and let the people on Capitol Hill know that as crappy as they might be, we still have their back if they're willing to make the right decision and stop this guy's nonsense. Speaking of which, that reminds me of something else I wanted to talk about today. I'm still developing a system the protests. I actually it was a couple days ago. San Diego is one. Tallahassee was supposed to be another. Indianapolis. Protests are up across the U.S. Nationwide protests. And this one's on Fox 11 in Los Angeles. So 16 hours, 13 hours ago. Some Microsoft News. So, yeah, I mean, let's take a look at PBS. That's going to be good.
To what do I owe this pleasure?
It's showtime!
It's what I love doing.
Your love for your little boy shines out.
This story is mine, and no one is going to tell it but me.
We need an undercover operation. Starting
Sorry,
to enjoy myself.
Can't skip the commercial.
That is absolutely perfect.
There you go. PBS
Here in the
Passport.
U.S., the Trump administration is moving at a breakneck pace, targeting agencies and slashing the federal workforce. And one man is orchestrating it all, Elon Musk. Currently the richest man in the world, Musk has been given access to critical systems across the federal government. Today, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Musk could decide for himself if any government funds that his team has access to are in conflict with his business interests.
If Elon Musk comes across a conflict of interest with the contracts and the funding that Doge is overseeing, then Elon will excuse himself from those contracts. And he has, again, abided by all applicable laws.
No, he
Alarmed
hasn't
by
even
Musk's
abided by any
influence and
applicable
growing
laws.
control, House Democrats on the Oversight Committee attempted to subpoena Musk, but were blocked today by House Republicans. Our Laura Barone-Lopez has been covering the latest, and she joins us now. So Laura,
That's
Musk
what you
and his
voted
team,
for,
the so-called
people.
Department of Government Efficiency, are moving very fast. Bring us up to date. Since Monday, how many more agencies and government systems has he gained access to?
So to date, Musk and his team have accessed at least 11 agencies, and the count is growing every day. So that includes USAID, Treasury, Education Department,
CIA.
FAA, FBI, and what does that mean? That means that with access to these agencies, he has access to the government's biggest payment systems, to personnel information, to the personal information of many Americans, HR systems, and much more. The New York Times also recently reported that Doge has access to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which has contracts totaling in $1 trillion. And now we asked the White House about all this access.
Tell me how
and
this
the White
is
House
not a
claims
dictatorship.
that Musk and Doge have
Tell me how this is
the
okay.
appropriate security
anybody do it?
clearances, and that Doge employees are employees of relevant agencies. But it's not just about gaining access, Amna. Elon Musk has also gleefully tweeted on X about dismantling entire agencies beyond USAID, including the Education Department.
You've been reporting on this issue of Musk and his team getting access to the Treasury payment systems. What does that mean? Do we know if he has power to stop payments, for example?
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that Elon Musk and Doge have, quote, read-only access. But the White House has not directly answered if Elon Musk and Doge have the power to stop a number of these payments that go out of that system at the Treasury Department. The White House press secretary today seemed to imply that he might, citing some very specific payments that Doge itself was stopping. But a source familiar that I talked to who was familiar with what happened during the transition, said that members of Musk's team were asking the Treasury's Bureau of Fiscal Service if they could stop payments that were going through that system, and that Doge wanted information and access to the underlying code of that system.
So what could all that mean? What are the implications of that kind of access?
I spoke to Natasha Sarin. She's a former Treasury official during the Biden administration, and she said that Musk and Doge's access, which the Doge team has a number of 19 to 24-year-olds who have no government experience. She said their access poses a risk.
You think?
I would think about it as like a data security, cybersecurity risks, right? Risks of private information about individuals, like their social security numbers, their bank account information, getting out to the public. I would think of another category of risks as national security risks. So you're making it more possible for our adversaries. The less secure this data is and this infrastructure is, the more possible it is for our adversaries to be able to manipulate it.
So just to hammer it home, Amna, Natasha said that that means that Doge has access to social security numbers, direct deposit bank accounts for everyday Americans. And we should note that a federal judge did indicate today that he may issue a temporary restraining order against Doge's ability to access those payment systems.
Laura, what do we know about why Musk and Doge have been given this kind of apparently unfettered access to these government systems?
Elon Musk has said pretty publicly that his goal is to cut the deficit by stopping all of these improper payments. But he's made a lot of sweeping accusations without any evidence, calling USAID payments there just totally corrupt. He claims that the Bureau of Fiscal Service, that's that Treasury payment system we're talking about, that they've never stopped improper payments. Well, experts that we talk to say that that's a fundamental misunderstanding of what those civil servants do. They're only responsible for cutting checks. They are not responsible for vetting the payments at all. That happens at the agency level. And so there is a concern amongst government workers that Elon Musk is essentially claiming and creating a head fake, saying that there are all these improper payments going out of the federal government, and claiming that essentially as a permission structure to then eventually stop payments.
In the big picture here, we've seen Musk gain access, get control of these systems. Help us understand the influence. What kind of a takeover is this we're seeing?
Well, some of the experts that we talk to say that there's a name for this, and that name is state capture. What is state capture? It's when a wealthy individual like Elon Musk is able to capture the mechanisms of government, gain control of them, and then potentially manipulate them for their personal gain. And I spoke to Tyler McBrien, the managing editor at Lawfare, who said that state capture practically works like this.
It's rewriting the rules of the game in terms of law and policy. It's capturing administrative decisions through appointments, budgeting, things like that. And then it's attacking these accountability structures. So the inspectors general, any sort of congressional
oversight this was going to happen.
Should happen
8 months ago.
The media as well. You see this now with certain government agencies only reporting things on X and no longer issuing press releases.
He mentioned inspectors general.
It's called
a lot of inspectors
media.
general
State
are
run
gone
media.
now because the Trump administration put them on leave. One of the only ways he said to stop state capture is public awareness. And we saw today that there were a lot of protests and backlash there across DC, outside of the Capitol. Hundreds protested the dismantling of USAID. And you hear them talking about chanting against Elon Musk there, Amna. So that is potentially one of the only ways that state capture could be stopped.
Laura Brown Lopez, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there you go, gang. We are officially in a dictatorship. That's what this is. And until people can step up and recognize that, nothing's going to change. That awareness she's talking about, keep flooding. Oh, I got that too. I think we talked about that a second ago, but Capitol switchboard for both the Senate and the House is this number right here. 202-224-3121. I'll put that on the screen too. But I mean, at what point do we finally say enough is enough? I thought it was going to be with January 6th. I thought once January 6th came, oh, he's done. But nope. Still good. So there it is on the screen, 202-224-3121. Give your senator a call, senators a call. Give your senators a call. call their local office if you have to, because you heard what I said earlier about the volume that the switchboard's getting. But yeah, I just don't get it. What is the appeal? Why would you vote for this? Why would shout out to Eric Schwartz Yoga Ridge and Sold by Morris for joining us on Instagram. We're talking about a third set of articles of impeachment having been possibly drawn up, and they actually have not been drawn up yet. But the Texas Democrat that's suggesting he do so is pissed over Gaza. Meanwhile, we're sitting here talking about everything going on within our own government and here in the United States. Don't we have more important reasons to actually, and he's broken the law. Trump has broken the law. Ken says people should be truly disturbed with Elon having, oh my God, this is scary. This is seriously scary. And yeah, when they're not giving access to the entire media, when they created chairs, quote unquote, for independent journalists like me, who do you think is going to get those spots? Do you think I'm going to be moved up to Washington, D.C.? Or maybe somebody that I hire to be my White House correspondent? Or do you think that's going to go to some kiss ass like Benny Johnson or Ben Shapiro or Dan Bongino? That's who's going to get it. So that they can say that there's independent media there as their watchdog, and their feet are being held to the fire. They're wearing boots, and the fire is barely a match. I don't think anybody's feet is being held to any fire. Put that number back up. Leave that up today. I just don't get the appeal and why you think as a voter, as a Trump supporter, that this is a good idea. How is this a good idea? And whose idea was this? That you're going to support this guy? I got to start wrapping up. We're about to lose some time. And in the event that I run over, which I might, I don't know. But give some plugs here. You can reach out to any of us. Yeah, I am still sick, by the way, so kind of forgive me if I sound a little goofy. Jane Stahl can be reached by going to Studio BBB, 3 B's as in boy, read, 3 B's as in boy, .org, studiobbb.org. She is my Monday co-host for where we also record Both Sides Now, the podcast that she and I have. Stay tuned for us joining DNR Studios. Derek and Romaine were the Howard Stern and Robin Quivers of satellite radio before Howard got on satellite radio, and of the gay community. They were released when Sirius XM did not continue with the gay channel, but they started their own. And sometime later this month, beginning of next month, I will be a part of that network, their only political show on the network. Matt Deemer, one of my Friday hosts, can be reached at matt@dailycryptonews.net or info@deemerforcongress.com. Again, that's Matt Deemer, the host of Daily Crypto News. He's a part of Jurg's News. We repurposed that for on Jurg's Radio, and we're actually getting that back up today too. Blake Fisher from the Homeless Conservative guy, not a Trump supporter. You can reach out to him, blake@thehomelessconservative.com, and catch him and Matt here tomorrow and every other Friday for Friday Fights. You can get all of us by going to news, NEWZ, at yergs.com. And then any other information you might need can be found at yergs.com and mastiff.media, our parent company. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm still needing, I don't know if you're seeing it, but I'm still needing to like take a breath and kind of get through. Shout out to the people on our two YouTube channels, Talk TV 24 and Up the Middle. Also on Twitch and Facebook. Welcome, everybody. We're actually wrapping up. I'm probably going to stay on time today just because I can barely breathe. And yeah, my eyes get watering, and it's awesome. But again, the number for the Capitol switchboard, 202-224-3121. Call your senators, call your congressman or woman, your representative in Congress. Tell them this is ridiculous. Tell them what you think. Don't let me tell you what to say. You can do this on your own. But if you think that what is being done by Trump and Elon Musk, you needed to call here and tell me, because I don't get it. And I do not see where anybody in their right mind thinks that this is okay. It's not the end. It's not the due process that these people deserve. It's not the due process that we deserve. I want to find that video of that girl going off. And obviously, I'm going to have to edit it heavily because she's dropping the F-bomb every other word. But yeah, so we're wrapping up here. We're going to be losing everybody. Tomorrow, tune in for Friday Fights. Matt's going to be back from vacation, and Blake is going to be back. We're all getting ready to get pumped up for a good Friday. All right, everybody. I'm going to get some cough meds, try to clear up my head, and that's it. I'll see you tomorrow.